Baruch Ata Asherah Anat Malacha Ha'olam Asher Kiddushani B'mitzvotav V'tzivani Li'yadativ L'tzitzit. Good morning. Yes, it is raining. Is it raining where you are? So, if you'd like to warm up your voice with me, you can take a deep breath in. Pay attention to your pelvis and spine, shoulders, neck, and head. Inhale. On your exhalation, make a tone, any tone. Good morning, Cat Calibri. Good morning, Calvin. Wet, but not rainy now. Go a little bit higher now. Oh, but it does pay rent. Oh, but it does. I'm about to be starting a Patreon very soon, in the next week or so. And we're going to be doing some more robust community organizing as that gets more structured. So yes, indeed, this community can provide meaningful livings for people. Can, for me. For people. For me. It can. And I'm so grateful for all of your help in making that possible. And it's pretty incredible. It's none of anyone's business. Actually, I do think it is. People have, I'm putting myself out on the internet for people to see. Like, I do think that is important information for them to understand, because we're usually so private about money in this country, in this culture, right? Like, we hide the inequality that exists. So I live with a group of, it fluctuates between 10 and 20 people throughout the year. And many of us share all of our money together in a single pot. And collectively, we operate at around $100,000 a year, which roughly breaks down into $10,000 per member per year. So that's how much money we have, and that's how much bills we have. And living in this way, I can actually make a meaningful living on TikTok with all of your support. And that's, like, pretty profound. It's pretty profound that you all can support me and have been supporting me for several months now. And that's really special. So I'm going to start a Patreon. to make that support a little bit more explicit and robust, and to be able to give more back to you all. Yeah, I think if we all talked about how much we earned, there would be less inequality in the world. So I earn roughly $20,000 a year, and that gets shared, so it averages out to $10,000 for everyone I live with. I'm sure many of you earn more. I'm sorry you're sick with the vaccine. Well, do rest. I'm really glad you're here. So we're going to start morning prayers now. We'll start with the book of Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy takes place when the Israelites are wandering through the desert in search of a home. I'm sure many of you can relate to that feeling, right? Feeling homeless, feeling like you need a kind of identity to ground yourself to. And they were desperate. And in their desperation, they created this story. And a speaker named Moses speaks to a god named Yahweh. And here's what Yahweh says, and what Moses then repeats. It goes like this. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Hear, O Israel, hear, you who struggles with God. Yahweh Eloheinu Asherah Echad, are one. Listen, Israel, God is one. Listen, Israel, all is one. Listen, Israel, the serpent eats its tail. And when the serpent is in your camps, you should put it upon a pole and look at it, and then live. Is this a comedy skit? What is that? What are we doing here today? Who can tell? What is this? These are prayer words that we repeat every morning, and those 6 are probably the most important. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, all is one. Thank you, Chronicles. I appreciate that. And those 6 words are so tremendous and incomprehensible, paradoxical, that we need a little bit more elaboration in order to know. Yes, I am Jewish. Thank you, moderators. The consequences of industrial revolution. Would someone like to let Phil know what my pronouns are? I'm going to continue on with these prayers. So the next prayer in the sequence is called the V'ahavta. And the V'ahavta means, and you shall love. And the V'ahavta is this shape, right? It refers to itself, right? And it contains its own purpose. And so I think it's a very beautiful prayer. So we'll sing it together. Shema, no. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך והיו הדברים האלה Asher nohi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'vitecha v'lechtecha havaderch uv'shachvecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha avehayu letotavot v'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך וביהי שעריך. And you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And take to heart these instructions that I'm giving you today. Yes, I do worship idols and claim to be spiritually Jewish. Basically, I don't know what you mean by the word spiritually. That's a very big, vague word. But I claim to be Jewish. And yes, I am praying with the assistance of these objects. Yep. Thank you, Shane. So, let's start that over. What does this prayer mean? You shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words, which I'm speaking today, right, which is coming out of my mouth, going into my phone, coming out of your phone, going to your eyes, your ears, these words that are physically being transferred from me to you, teach them to your children. Impress them upon your children like a stamp. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are awake, and when you lie down and when you get up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and you shall let them serve as a symbol on your forehead, and you shall inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. So you see, when I said that this prayer contained itself, right, that it was an Ouroboros, is because the prayer says, copy me, right? What the prayer does is provoke the listener to emit the sound of the prayer again in the future. The prayer contains itself. When it is heard once, it is heard again. It reproduces. And I think that is really beautiful. That's the same as worshipping the golden calf, or any other idols that are warned against in the Tanakh. I will answer that question. I'm sorry you were muted. Sometimes my moderators get a little bit overeager. We're still learning the right level of harshness for different kinds of responses, because it's often, in a split second, very difficult to know if someone is being ignorant or rude. It's hard to tell, and sometimes they just miss. So, this comment, that's the same as worshipping the golden calf or any other idols that are warned against in the Tanakh. Yes, you are correct. It's precisely the same. So, why don't we read a little bit from the Tanakh about what happened to the Israelites who made a golden calf. Let me find the section. Here we are. So, they were Israelites in the desert, right? I'm sure many of you have heard this story. They had just been freed, and they were wandering through the desert looking for a home, and they camp at the base of a mountain, and Moses goes to the top of the mountain to commune with God. And while Moses is gone, the people become unfaithful, right? They lose their connection to God, and they seek a connection to another god, a goddess, actually. Her name was Asherah. And she was represented in this story as a golden calf, right? Here's another representation of Asherah. This is a humanoid figure, right? Asherah had many names. Sometimes she was named Anat. many names, many images. Golden calf. And Moses comes down from the mountain after these Israelites are worshipping the golden calf, this goddess image. And he sees them and he becomes so furious. He enters into a genocidal rage. And here's what he says. He says to the Levites, his priestly kin, he says, "Thus says Yahweh, God of Israel, each of you put sword on thigh, go back and forth from gate to gate throughout the camp, slay brother, neighbor, and kin." The Levites did as Moses had bidden, and some 3,000 people fell that day. Genocide, right? So let's parse that. Let's parse that. Moses goes up to the mountaintop. The people below start worshipping a golden calf. Moses comes back down, and he gets so furious that he believes that genocide is justified. And he tells the elites, the Levite priests, to kill 3,000 of their brethren, right? 3,000 brothers and kin. Brothers, neighbor, and kin. Right? Like what is that, to have that kind of self-inflicted genocide in your deepest history? What is that? So yes, you should get mad. They're worshipping idols. So you think that worshipping an idol, right? Having this clay object that is a sort of symbol, and engaging with that object to connect to all of the rest of reality, this is so abominable that it is justifying genocide? Like really? Like, I understand that there are theological reasons for not wanting to worship idols. I think there are important reasons, right? Like, there's a metaphysics of monotheism that states that any kind of representation of the thing cannot be the thing, right? Like, it's actually a very powerful theological idea, but it's a theological idea. Like, it's metaphysics. It's not people and their lives. Like, how can you justify killing 3,000 of your family members because they have a different theological idea? Like, that's not what it's about. It's about identity formation. According to God's law at the time, after having delivered them, yes, it was. The wages of the sin is death. Because we worship a God who hates idol worship. Moshe worshipped a jealous God. And I guess my question to you then is that okay? Like, is that okay to have a God of your people that is willing to inflict genocide upon them for engaging in multiculturalism? Like, is that okay? Is that something that we really want in our religion? That's the question. Ancestor sorrow. Alright. So that was an interesting theological diversion. Now that we've been there, let's read the words that come after the V'ahavta. What are the words that come after the V'ahavta? And this dress is very tight, and I need to figure out how to sit so that my leg becomes unfrozen. God does not get jealous. He is simply stating that other gods before him will only lead you astray. I mean, I think it literally does say in the Torah, I am a jealous God. Like, it says that many times, actually. Like, he's fairly transparent about his jealousy. So I don't think that's quite on the mark. Stop speaking falsely and learn the truth. Not this millennial liberal garbage. All right. Am I Orthodox Jewish? No. No, I'm not Orthodox Jewish. The people in my chat who are criticizing me, they're correct in a certain sense that what I'm saying is basically heretical. I could not be an Orthodox Jew, but I have a very deep respect for Orthodox tradition, and I am trying to engage in it in the way that I am able to do so. Yeah. I find the Bible to be a collection of stories from people trying to know God, but not really knowing. Yes, that's one of the best summaries of this book that I have ever read. A collection of stories from people trying to know God, but not really knowing. Well, I'm the same. I'm a person trying to know God, but not really knowing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, God definitely says he's a jealous God. Duval knows. It happened millions of years ago. It did not happen millions of years ago. This story took place 3,000 years ago, and the fictional parts of it, although they're fictional, we can still say would have taken place 3,000 years ago. Like, that's the setting of the story, not millions of years ago. Yes, I am trans. Oh gosh. He is jealous of how much he loves us and how much he hates sin. I don't know if that makes sense. Just believe in energy. It's scientific and shows that we all come from a sentient source. Energy and light are interchangeable, you know. The Bible literally says no one knew God until they saw Jesus. That's true. Yeah. The important thing is Jesus did die for our sins, and we can have life through him. Ah, I see. So now we're getting into Catholicism. What religion is this? Well, maybe it's Catholicism. Maybe it's Judaism. I'm not sure. You get to decide. What religion is this? It's evolutionary mythology. Live your truth. Am I yes, I am trans. You're gonna get muted because you've asked too much. Please mute them. The Bible is literally God's breath. Each person writing the book had an encounter with God. That's a very powerful story. I wonder about the truth of that story, but it's a very powerful one. I mean, it's probably true to some definition of God, yeah. But does it justify killing 3,000 people? Yes. Yes, Cat Calibri. Let's keep asking that question. Like, hey, I understand this theological argument. It is important, but does it justify killing 3,000 people? How does that sit within your framework of what reality is? Yeah. All right. Thoughts on evolution. All of this is thought on evolution. There's a tree of life behind me. This is evolutionary mythology. So am I searching for the one and only God? No. No. I mean, yes, but no. Oh my god, am I gonna get to the bottom of these... Jewish people in the Old Testament knew who God was, and Moses saw God. Wait, so did they or did they not know God? That's the question. God hates sin. Would I consider myself Christian? No. I'm not Christian. Duval's not Christian either, even though you're spouting Christian theology. What religion are you, Duval? Okay. Does God want us to get the vaccine? Yes. Alright, I think we've lost the topic. We've lost the topic. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna... Okay, that's the it. I'm skipping the rest of the chat there. I don't know what happened. But we've stopped. We've strayed from theologically interesting territory. I think the final comment that deserves attention is... Does it justify killing 3,000 people? Well, okay, so here's the thing. There's this phrase that comes after the Via Hafta, right? So we were, back before, 15, 20 minutes ago, we were talking about the Via Hafta, and this is this prayer that says, copy me. copy me, copy me, copy me, copy me, copy me. And Coven Commune, was I making you impatient with all of the comment responses? This is an important theological conversation to have. Anyway, Vihafta says, copy me. And then there's a bit that comes next, which perhaps makes more sense in light of this story of the golden calf. I don't read the story of the golden calf often in this sequence. Perhaps I should. Perhaps I should. It's a genocide, right? And so from that genocide, we now come to this one, a future prediction of another kind of genocide. So let's read what it says. V'haya, ki v'acha Yahweh Elohecha el ha'aretz asher nisbai lavotecha levram leizchach ul Yaakov latidlach avrim gedolot v'tavot asher lo vanita uvatim mileim kol tuva asher lo mileta uverat hatzuvim asher lo hasatva ke'arim vizitim asher natata be'alachta v'shavata hishamer lecha pin shishchach et Yahweh asher tishacha mi'eretz Mitzrayim mibet avadim. When Yahweh Elohim brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. So, what do we think the house of bondage is? I was born Jewish. What do we think the house of bondage is, right? So, there's this reference to Egypt, this place where the Israelites were enslaved. And how did the Israelites get out of Egypt? Who knows? Who knows this story, right? What is the final straw that convinces the Pharaoh to let the Israelites go? Tuval, you must know. This is a very simple question. What was the final thing that happened before the Israelites left Egypt? Who can tell me? There's 230 people here. None of you can tell me. Really? The waters turned to blood. Angel of death. Yes, angel of death. His child died. Yes, the blood on the door, the first son dying. Yes, the water turned to blood. That's an image for you. The water turned to blood, and then every firstborn son in Egypt was killed. What would we call that today? What word would we use for that today? Killing the firstborn son of a certain ethnicity? We would call that genocide. Yeah, that's genocide. And then the Red Sea parts and collapses on to the Egyptian army. That's another kind of genocide. Do I remember why all that happened? Yes, I do remember why. I do. We can go back, but we're actually going to be looking forward. So there was a genocide. And then the Israelites were wandering through the desert, and they started worshipping a golden calf, and if there was another genocide, this time they didn't kill all of the Egyptians, they killed themselves, right? There was an internal genocide of a group upon itself. Which is actually not that different than what was happening in Egypt before then. And so when this prayer says, okay, when Yahweh Elohim brings you to the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. So what is this bondage? Well, there's genocide and then there's genocide, right? These are the things that freed them from bondage, killing the Egyptians, killing their own selves. So what is bondage? And how do we go back there? Well, we go back there if we forget, right? When we enter this land full of all these good things, take heed that you do not forget Yahweh. Because if you forget, you will be delivered back into another cycle of bondage, right? The land is stolen. Recognize that the land is stolen. The land that I live on used to be occupied by the Oneida people. Now it is occupied by me. And I have a right to it, but that doesn't mean that the land is not stolen. So this prayer reminds us that we all live on stolen land, and that the cycles of trauma that have produced that are ongoing. So let's remember. I don't like it when people suggest that I'm a murderer. I'd prefer if you didn't do that. Thank you. We definitely live on stolen land. We do. Imagine pondering these things all day. You're worried about rent, not what happened in 1 BC. I'm worried about both. Stolen land is not stolen if it's earned. I think that once land has been stolen, it's always been stolen. Right? You can't remove that from it. Once it's been stolen, it's been stolen. Like you can then rightfully earn it again, right? Like ownership shifts all the time, but once a piece of land has been stolen, you can never erase that history simply by purchasing it fairly in a few hundred years. Ironically, Israel is also stealing land now. Ironic, isn't it? Ironic, isn't it? Yeah. So what happens next in the story? Joshua descends from the hills and he conquers Jericho. He tears down the walls and he kills everyone inside. And then he lives there. Then he lives there. He lives in houses that he did not fill and drinks from cisterns that he did not hew. I've seen that cistern in Jericho. It's an incredible spring. I've drunk from that water that is talked about, that Joshua occupied. It's good water. All right. Maybe I should shut up. Maybe I should sing. Got on a bit of a tangent today, but there's interesting theological things going on. All right. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. I did. Right? This is the God that we've been talking about all morning, for the last 33 and a half minutes. We're talking about Yahweh. If we know anything about Yahweh, right, it's kind of violent. And, no, Yahweh did not make me a woman. I did. Baruch atah Asherah, Anat Malech haolam, Asher yitzar et ha'adam b'chachama u'v'ra v'or. I repeat the name of Asherah Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. Here's Asherah. Here's Asherah. Do I have any Jewish mysticism book recommendations? Read a translation of the Zohar. That's where modern Jewish mysticism starts. It's an old Kabbalistic text. You can start there. You can go further back if you want, but the Zohar is a good place to start. I've never read it, but I know that's the place to start. You won't find mention of Asherah in the Zohar, but you will find mention of another goddess. Her name is Shekinah. Stolen land? What about stealing trash out of the dumpster? What's the difference? What is the difference? What an excellent question. What do you think the difference is between stolen land and taking trash out of a dumpster? What are the similarities? This is Asherah, a false god. according to Duval, a false god. Duval, you're actually a very polite foil. I appreciate you in this stream quite a bit. You're extremely polite, and you're offering a different perspective. That's great. You keep that up and show other people how to do that. Other people don't do it as well as you. Alright. Thank you for making me with many openings and cavities. You've read the Book of Ashra. It's amazing. I wonder what you've read. I've not heard of the Book of Ashra, but it sounds good. Creation isn't trash. There isn't a comparison. And yet trash is part of creation. Huh, and I can eat trash and it can become creation again. Creation isn't trash. Trash in a dumpster has been discarded, so taking it isn't stealing. No owner. I love all the different perspectives, too. I love all the different perspectives, too. Yeah, Duval is not toxic. Just saying his opinion. It's great. It's really great. Okay. Yeah, post a link to the book in my Discord server. I'd love to check it out. Trash is something unwanted. God wants us. These are good takes. Alright, we got one more song about genocide. What's my favorite song? I should sing it for you? Well, this is my favorite song right now. I don't know what my favorite song is, but this is the song that comes next. I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me. And Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil that we had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Oh, some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. So I'll hang upon this altar, and I'll hoist my axe again. And I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon, and Cain was just a man. And we'll read from pleasant Bibles, they're bound in blood and skin, that Ashra is gathering all her children back again. I struggle with Christianity because of how I was treated by Christians, but Duval is interesting. I agree, bloated babe. I agree. Bloated Barbie. Oh, I'm so sorry. Why wait for Cain? Cain can't do nothing. Cain, who committed another kind of fratricide. 3,000 people fell that day, right? It's a replica of that original trauma. Cain killed Abel because they were worshipping wrong. What a story. Christianity isn't about Christians, it's about Christ. That's a good line. I'll see you later, Coven, Commune. Words, my friends, words. I will see you later. Thank you so much for being here. Sanskrit. We're gonna do 2 Sanskrit mantras. The Mahamrityunjaya mantra and the Shivananda Dhyana sloka. We'll start with the second one. These prayers are in Sanskrit, and I learned them at the Shivananda Ashram in New York State. Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kapita Jambupala Sarabakshitam Umasritam Sakavinasakarnam Nahami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Sadananam Kunkumaraktavarnam Mahamatim Divya Mayuravahanam Ridasyasinam Sarasananatam Guham Sadanam Saranam Prapadye Yaku Hendutu Saraharatavalaha Yasubra Vasavarita Yavinavaranam Manditakara Yasveta Padmasana Yabramachuta Sankara Patrapi Devasata Pujita Samampati Saraswati Bhagavati Nihe Sajadhyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nisparanchaya Santaya Shishivanandaya Te Namaha Shri Vishnu Devanandaya Te Namaha Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye Shive Savarta Sadike Saranyi Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostite Narayani Namostite Om We should treat nature with the devotion people treat religion. We should treat nature with the devotion that people treat religion. I like that very much. And what do you mean by nature and what do you mean by religion? Because isn't religion part of nature? Yeah? Or no? Or is nature part of religion? What do you believe in? Jayambakam yajamahe sugandim pushche vardhanam Urvarukami vavandanan mrityur mukshiyamamritatom Jayambakam yajamahe sugandim pushche vardhanam Rukami Bhavandanan Mrityar Mukshiyamamritatom Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Makashit Tukabhagbhave, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya, Mrityur Mamritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. That outer world is full. This inner world is also full. From fullness comes fullness, taking full from full, fullness remains. The serpent eats its tail. Om peace. What is awakening and what is falling in deeper sleep? God, I love the chat today. Chat today has been so good. Chat today has been so good. Yeah, please just say your opinion instead of muting. We can have dissonant opinions in here as long as they're thoughtful. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. You should consider again some of your moderators. I'm curious and want to know more because you enjoy it. You should consider again your moderators. If you'd like to moderate for me, you're more than welcome to. There are several steps to that. You can join my Discord server, and then once you're in my Discord server, let's just start having a conversation about what we want the community to be. That conversation is going to be more structured in the next few weeks. I've been saying this every day, but I will get to it, I assure you. I'm going to start scheduling some meetings with my moderators and anyone else who likes to join. on my Discord server. I'll schedule them soon. And we're going to talk about the future of this community, what we would like to see, lots of different stuff. I'm going to be spending a lot more time on Discord over the next few weeks. Can I discuss the Tallet? Yes. This is my grandfather's. I got it after he died. It's his prayer shawl, and I pray with it most days, or something similar. My grandfather also gave me his tefillin. I don't pray with those, but one day I will. If enough people are interested, I can bring out the tefillin. I do sometimes. Yeah. So, let's do a prayer about prayer. Do I have a job? Yes, this is my job. Right here. My job is to pray with all of you. And it's going to become more of a full-time job very soon. Which is kind of remarkable. Another year. And then this will be my main job. Right now it is one of my jobs to pray with you all. And I am so lucky that this is one of my jobs. We're going to sing a prayer about prayer together. This is probably my most favorite prayer in the sequence. I'm not familiar with any molds mycological. No, I'm sorry. What do you think about identifying with my identity? I don't identify with my identity. I don't identify with identifying. That's a very good question. Yeah, I don't identify with identifying. Like, people ask me if I'm a boy or a girl, and I say yes. People ask me what my pronouns are, and I say, what do you think? I don't identify with labeling myself as such. It's not that I don't think I'm a woman. I do. Like, I'm a woman, right? Like, yes, that's the answer you want, right? Yes, I'm a trans woman. Like, my pronouns are she, her. Like, okay, you have your answer? Like, but that's not the point. Like, I don't identify with identifying, right? I think that limits our capacity to perceive ourselves and others. So I try not to. Why do I thank God for openings and crevices? Because my openings and crevices make me feel like a woman. Like, to be very sexually explicit, like, they let me have sex like a woman. Like, it's pretty good. I like it. You're asking good questions. Y'all are asking good questions. Gender is a social construct. As a neuroqueer, you don't get it. I don't get it either. I don't get it either. We're gonna sing a prayer about prayer. Right? I'm a being of infinite energy, Yahweh. Yeah, sure. How old am I? I'm 30. We're going to sing a prayer about prayer. This is by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. As I'm singing this prayer, I'd love to hear from you all what prayer means to you and why you're here. Yeah. TikTok likes me to remind you to like the video, so you could do that too. I like this prayer to be interactive because it's accessible. You can sing with me too. Do not sing. I'm gonna sing Poo by Day. Poopy doopy. Yeah, alright. Please God, no. Sometimes the trolls are cute. You should mute him, but he's cute. I don't want to pray to my maker, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink and golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray, pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asherah made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah, God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be what I see. Not like in a book, or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. No, no. Pardon. God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. Love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, I made good. And Anat made bad. Elohim, you made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. Except that's a lie. You know that, right? None of those gods exist. I made me. Or you all are making me right now. We are making each other. We are making an online community together. All of you talking and sharing your opinions and being in this space with one another, with each other, with us, right? We are making one another through that. I get to be this person. I get to be Tiresias. Like, what? Thank you for letting me be this person. It's pretty special. Am I singing by improvising or memory? It's memory. So the song was called I Don't Want to Pray by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. I've modified it to include some Canaanitic god names, because that feels appropriate for me and the way that I want to pray. But I didn't write it. What are my thoughts on marriage? I hope this is the last time you ask that question. So I will get married one day, traditionally, legally. In some sense, I'm already married. I have several committed partnerships, and I share all of my money with many people. So much of the responsibilities associated with marriage I already hold, even if I don't have that legal status or that spiritual status. And one day I probably will, but I don't, it doesn't matter much to me. Was my grandfather spiritual? Yes, my grandfather was a deeply religious man. Got him through the Holocaust. It's okay. I just normally don't like the same question asked that many times. But I'm glad you got your answer. I hope that answer was satisfying for you. Now we're gonna do RT. RT means flame. I don't know if I can get this flame to light. Might have to close the window for a flame. Okay. There's our little flame. So. Devo, do I smoke? Do I smoke marijuana? Yes, I do. I smoke too much marijuana. So. This prayer is called Arati. The word Arati means flame in Sanskrit. Or light. And here's our little light. Yes, I do live in a commune. I sit like this because I think it's comfortable and good for my back. Why do I sit like that? Because it's comfortable and good for my back. So, the word Arati means flame, or light in Sanskrit. And we will sing this refrain, Jaya Jaya Arati. Jaya Jaya Arati. We wave the light of victory. Jaya Jaya Arati Avina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Ratiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Ratiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Rati Venkanta Ramana Venkanta Ramana Sankatarana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutaravatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jaya Rati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shri Rama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Rati Ayappa Swamine Ayappa Swamine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Rati Venugopala Natatra Siyopati Natandra Karatam Nema Vidyopati Kutayamagni Tvameva Bantamanabandi Sarvam Tasya Vasya Samitam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhi Kaveri Namastitam Namo Namaha Jai Jai Arati Wave, wave the light. Neither the sun shines there, nor the moon, stars, nor lightning. So from where does its light come? When that shines, everything shines after that. By its light, all else is lit. Tvameva mata, chabita tvameva, tvameva bandisha saka tvameva. Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Kayena vacha manasindriyarva Buddhyatmanava prakriti sabhavat Karomi adyad mangalam parasmahi Narayanaiti sarmarpayami Sarvadharmam pravichayami mikam savarnam vraja Aham sva sarvapapayo mokshayami masucha Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you, to all of you. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Where did I learn Sanskrit? I learned Sanskrit at the Shivananda Yoga Ashram in the Catskill Mountains of New York. I don't actually speak Sanskrit fluently, but I speak enough of it to memorize these songs. Om Shanti. So I've got one more prayer for you today. One more prayer, back in the Hebrew language. Am I religious or spiritual? I think that's up for you to decide. Did my grandfather teach me those? Not directly, no. My grandfather did not teach me directly any Hebrew prayers, but his influence caused me to learn them. There's no doubt. Have I heard of endosymbiotic theory? It reminds me of my videos about cells coming together. Yes, Julia. Yes, indeed. I have heard of endosymbiotic theory. You're also a Shivananda yogi. Huh. Well, nice to meet you, Joey. That's great. Yeah, wow, that's really lovely. Thank you for being here. Endosymbiotic theory has had a profound influence on the way that I see the world. It's this simple, right? The serpent which consumes itself but is not consumed, like a cell with a mitochondria inside it. Yeah, Lynn Margulis's work is very much in the back of my mind whenever I make art, or pray, or exist in the world. Think about God. Think about my own identity. Yeah. Likes, I say. Likes are good. Thanks, Salty Bish. Likes are very good. So now we're gonna say Kaddish for all of those people who died yesterday of coronavirus, and for all those others who have suffered from the forces of death and injustice that have plagued the living since our lineage began 3.8 billion years ago. And for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying the following words in response to death. Yidgadal Vidgadash Shemei Rabbah. Biomadi Rachute Biamlich Malkote Bachayachonov Yamechonov Chayede Kolbe Israel. Bagalau Bisman Karif Imru Amin. Yehe Shemei Rabbah Mivarach Liolam Omei Omaya. Yidbrach Vishtabach Vidbaar Vitrman Vitnase. Vitadar Vitale Vitalal Shemei Dekudisha Barichu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata Visherata. Tushvichata Venechimata. Tiamiran Biama Vimru Amin. Yehi Shlama Rabba Amin Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yachol Yisrael Vimru Amin Osei Shalom Vimrumav Huya Asei Shalom Aleinu V'yachol Yisrael Vimru Amin. Osei Shalom Vimrumav Huya Asei Shalom Aleinu V'yachol Yisrael Vimru Amen. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. So we're gonna have some breakfast now. Breakfast now. Breakfast time. Would anyone like to guess what we're going to have for breakfast today? You're so welcome, Lilith. Lilyfish. You're so very welcome. Rice. We're gonna have rice. Kale smoothie, no kale smoothie. Green beans, yes, bloated Barbie. You've been paying attention. I haven't had kale for a while. I have some green beans in my fridge. Yeah, we'll eat some dried strawberries. We will watch a serpent eat its tail. Like that. Wee wee.